is Sophia, some of you already know, and I'm a Vancouver Island-based poet. And some things were already mentioned from the stage, so I'll just say that I'm very excited about doing this workshop on haiku, introducing this poetic form, sharing a little on its history, and inspiring us to write some haiku of our own. I've already talked to you a little bit about what you know about haiku. You guys write haiku, you have passion for it, so that's very exciting. And so you already know, but I'll just do a quick recap, that a haiku is a short, concise poem that consists of 3 lines. Traditionally, the first line has 5 syllables, the second line is 7, and the final line is 5. Sorry, I'm on my side. For a refresh, what is a syllable? A syllable is a unit of pronunciation. For example, there are 2 syllables in the word water, and 3 in inferno. Each haiku is so short and concise that you must choose each word and syllable carefully, which is what we just talked about. One of the wonderful things about haiku is that careful consideration that you have to put into it. The art of haiku is all about expressing as much as possible in very few words. And traditional haiku, unlike other poetry, does not rhyme. So if you want to stick with your traditional version of haiku, you should describe a moment in time that's related to the power or influence of nature. Traditional haiku are supposed to include a kigo, which is a seasonal reference, and many haiku also juxtapose or bring together 2 distinct and contrasting images. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. Such as a mouse with a mountain, or a joyous occasion with a storm. But it's up to you on what moment in time you'd like to write about. But we'll go through a few examples to help you. If you're someone like me, it helps to see it done before you get into it. A little on its history, the first haiku emerged in Japanese literature during the 17th century as a reaction to elaborate poetic traditions. But it didn't become known by the name haiku until the 19th century, and has quite a complex history between the Japanese and the Chinese. But these days, people worldwide write haiku in various languages about countless different themes. And as I mentioned before, today we'll be sticking to traditional haiku. And so haiku, you might have heard these names before. Matsuo Basho, Musan, Kobayashi Isa, and Masoko Shiki. And they are considered 4 great haiku masters of all time. And they're the ones that really helped make it what it is today. They added their own kind of twists to it, and it's evolved over time, and it continues to evolve. If you're looking back at haiku in history, these 4 people were just huge in making it what it is today. I'm going to read some of their haiku now. Traditional haiku written by the Japanese doesn't always fit the 17-syllable rule because syllables are different in the Japanese language, and some things cannot be perfectly translated. So I just want to mention that before I jump in and you start to question some of the rules that I mentioned. So this one is by Matsuo Basho. An old, silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. Splash. Silence again. And by Yusa Busan, calligraphy of geese. Against the sky, the moon seals it. And Kobayashi Isa, a world of dew. Within every dewdrop, a world of struggle. Matsuka Shiki, pain from Cotton, the long night's lamp flame, small as a pea. Next, I'm going to read some more recently written haiku. Modern haiku rarely sticks to the 17th syllable and other rules, but I want to share these 2 because I think they'll help us capture the heart of haiku through their word selection and imagery. And as I read these out, I want you to think about the images that fill your head and the way it makes you feel. Good haiku will trigger these things in us. emotions, memories, images, and will cause us to be contemplative or gain a new perspective about the natural world around us. So, starting with Joe Tessitore, who wrote, "Fog enshrouds the night, woven in the heavy mist, a thread of fireflies." Germaine Drugenbrut wrote, "How short is freedom, gained by the cherry blossom released from the branch." Toshiji Kawago wrote, "A minute's silence for the atomic bomb day. The wind also dies." Spencer Green, "Black skyscrapers scratch at something beyond the gray as white flakes drift down." So now, hopefully we've learned a little bit about haiku and some imagery that will help inspire us too, and now we're going to try writing our own haiku sequence. I'm just going to grab some paper and pens. You're welcome to help yourself here. I have high expectations.
I was just realizing how
well, it sounds like they've written it before I haven't. So
that's
my excuse. I'll hear how Howard takes
It's okay, we're all very kind. No pressure.
Thanks. And you have a pen and we don't. So here you
And if you guys want to move your chairs to the tables to help you write, feel free to do that too. It might be a little bit easier. But first we're going to gather a word bank to help inspire our haiku and find the words to write it. So if you would like to pick your favorite season and write it down on your page, we're going to gather words about the season. Or you're going to do it rather, the things that speak to you, because it is going to be your haiku. So think about special memories you have related to the season. Think of words and descriptions tied to it. Think of the things compared to these seasons, similarities or perhaps the opposite of them, just in case you want to juxtapose two images together. Think about how the season makes you feel and how it can be expressed, and just write down your word bank underneath, list things as they come to mind, and we'll use these to write your haiku in a moment. Yeah, just your favorite season, whichever one you want to write about.
Are we writing the haiku now, or just our thoughts about
If you feel immediately inspired, feel free to do that.
And it's 5, 7, and 5?
Yes.
Okay.
So 5, 7, 5, 3 lines, an imagery of nature, a seasonal reference. You don't need to specifically mention spring or fall, but like hopefully it'll be clear to you as you read the haiku kind of which one you're talking about. And also usually in the present tense, because you're writing about a single moment in time. Refine the haiku later, just so you don't feel a ton of pressure. Right now it's just about getting something down on paper.
Just putting down words. They don't.
Words, and if you once you feel inspired to, you can start to write a haiku using the words that you've collected. Hopefully they'll inspire you. They can be as simple and as complex as you like. and we'll refine them in a moment.
like that. I never really thought about putting the negative piece, like the whatever, like the contrast in.
That's optional.
But that's what I'm trying. It's a challenge.
It can be.
If you're used to having.
It's very interesting. Like you can read haiku and you can enjoy haiku, but once you start thinking about writing it, you see it through a different lens almost, where you realize the work that actually does go into simplifying stuff.
It's not an easy. It's an easy one.
No, it's not. Maybe we'll look at, we'll continue and we'll talk about how we can refine our haiku, and maybe it'll inspire something for you as we go. So we have to remember too that haiku is a poetic form. I like the definition of poetry by Wikipedia actually. It says poetry, also called verse, is the form of literature that uses aesthetic and often rhythmic qualities of language, such as phonoaesthetics and sound symbolism. But what do these things mean in relation to haiku? I'm going to refer to a haiku written by Stuti Sinha. I really enjoy this one actually. Looming, laden clouds, blanket Bombay's bustling streets and storms paint the sky. Note the L's, B's, T's, and S's. This haiku is great for many reasons, but in this example, because of the rhythmic sounds of it. Looming, laden, bustling, Bombay's streets, storms, the sky. It's fun to say there's a catchiness to it, right? It sticks in your mind a little bit. And when you look at your haiku, you can ask yourself, can you create the same effect in it? Are there words that you can substitute to make it flow, maybe sound like having the looming ladens or clouds, things like that? Sounding it out will be very helpful. As you go. And then also, have you guys heard of haiku? It's a type of haiku.
Shorter?
No! Haiku.
Drop the H.
Bruce Ross, a popular modern haiku poet, he called this haiku. Migrating geese. One falls farther and farther behind. And this was written by Charles Dixon. Or, this one by Carl Montgomery. The key pinches of goldfish food. Stillness settles. And as you can see here, the format and the structure of the haiku tie in with its meaning. So you can have a lot of fun with it. And you can ask yourself if yours can be structured differently too. And this one is a little bit more modern because it doesn't have 3 lines, but the pinches, you can see here, it replaces one of the lines actually. There are exceptions to this. So maybe your haikus can be structured or formatted differently that way. Maybe you can, if you look at your haiku, if you can create those aesthetic and rhythmic qualities in it, such as bona aesthetics and sound symbolism. I hope the examples help. It's a lot of things to think through. Maybe those will help you finish off your haiku. If it complicates it for you, don't worry about it.
I'm stuck. I'm done.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm not playing any further.
Sort of.
Do you guys feel like sharing what you've written? Like no pressure.
Sure.
Yeah? Sure.
Well, my best word, the top pressure. But fields full with tulips, color rainbow beckons us. Spring blooms all around.
I like that. When I think of fields of tulips, I think about rainbows and the colors are beautiful. It's my favorite flower, actually.
We were just at the Tulip Festival
Oh, perfect.
Oh, in the States?
in the States.
Oh, I have to go. That sounds amazing. That's great. Anybody else like to share? No pressure.
Go ahead.
Sure. I'm working on, I'm a nonfiction writer, and I'm trying to do a piece about Saskatchewan and wheat in old days. And this has summed it all up. Surprising. Grandfather waits, watching, dense and warm, golden sun on wheat, harvest of thoughts wave.
I love that.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I've never thought about it before, but I almost feel it when you're talking about
Only
it.
because you said write a bunch of things, and of course my mind was already there.
Yeah.
And that helped to pull out some
Yeah.
gems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's great because like haiku, it's a snapshot into other people's worlds too, where you see things from their perspective, right? It's great. Yeah. Would you like to?
Sure. I find that mine sounds more like prose, but anyhow.
That's okay.
Soil awakening, blossoms unfurling on stems, wind sends scattering.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Wind, what's the last line? Scatter.
Wind, send, scatter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You might have you looked at Haiga?
I'm sorry.
Haiga, do you know Haiga? Like let me see if I've got an example. I'm not going to read this whole thing out. This is something I was about to go through actually. As a branch of haiku that actually you might really enjoy if you're a writer, which is in Haiga you have a title, meaning you have a prose that can be a very length, but normally it's a little bit shorter, and then you have a haiku that ties into it. And so all three to come together to complete this image.
Yeah.
And so, sorry?
How do you spell what you're saying?
Haiga.
Oh.
Yes, and Roberta Berry, who's actually a haiku poet I enjoy, she just wrote a book on how to write haiga and haibun. Haibun actually might be interesting too. It's Haibun. And so maybe that's something that like you would be interested in branching off into because that's what's coming to mind for you. And this is another form. I wanted to just show you various ways that you can incorporate haiku, which is with artistry. And so you can do watercolor, you can do photography, which I really enjoy. This is one of mine. But like if you're interested in other art forms, there's ways that you can combine that, and there's groups of people and communities that work on doing that. And so haiku, it's growing, it's evolving all the time. It's not just 3 words on a page anymore, as beautiful as that is too. As I appreciate the original form, but there's things happening all of the time with haiku. In case you're interested in haiku, but maybe less so about the nature part, there's new kind of genres of haiku being created right now, like horror-ku, which is haiku on horror. Like on horror.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm saying that funny.
Or like the scary stuff.
The scary stuff. Yeah, not nature anymore, just scary things.
That's scary.
Or sci-fi-ku, which is
Oh, really?
haiku with this sci-fi theme. And some people write haiku about aliens and whatever else comes to mind. So obviously you guys have an appreciation for nature. But in case you wanted to branch off, there is a world of haiku out there that I hope you enjoy. So congratulations, you're a haiku poet now.
I didn't actually know, even though I read some haiku, that it was always related, or the old tradition was related to nature. I
Yes.
didn't know that.
And it makes a lot of sense when you know a little bit about a lot of these Asian cultures have deep roots in like Zen Buddhism
Yeah.
and things like that, and they have a deep
That's spiritual.
appreciation for these things.
Yeah.
And haiku, a lot like Buddhism, it's very simple. It's about breaking things down onto like a foundational level and capturing these small moments. And so you can see why there's that connection there and how it originated. Yes. Oh, and if you're interested in filmmaking, there are a lot of people combining film and poetry, film with haiku too. There's a world out there. I hope you enjoy exploring it.
I feel like we've been
Do
doing
the
names.
haiku associations talk about these kind of things?
Yeah, so there are always going to be people that are like, the only real haiku is traditional haiku.
Right.
So it can be, depends who you talk to. But there are resources out there if you look into them. On my website for this event, I've also created a list of resources that I use, different organizations, which is www.sophiaconway.com. But if you Google, you'll find so much out there. There's a lot.
What was the woman's name you said who wrote a book about Haiga?
Roberta Berry.
Berry.
Beary.
Oh.
I really enjoy a lot of her work too. She co-wrote it. There's a few other names there, but that's the one that comes to mind for me. Yeah. Well, they're about to come in and do their activity in a second. The author's about to come back. She's got a reading in a minute with the children. But thank you so much for taking part. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes,
I know you guys are like, I hope there was something new for you.
Oh, there was a lot new. I
Okay.
learned, well,
Yeah,
I'd forgotten a lot about, like initially we started writing them with the nature focus, but we've become more event driven for some of these too. It's been interesting.
Getting politics into haiku, you mean?
Oh no, it's more like we'll do them for family events, like
Oh,
birthday or
I see.
Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
so for Thanksgiving we'll do a thankful haiku or something like that.
And then now for Halloween, you'll do horror coup with your family, right? And science fiction.
How do you get there?
No, but it's just, yeah, if, you know, maybe modern haiku doesn't speak to you that much, but know that there is much more out there if you enjoy.
At least it's only 9.
No, it's not. Oh
Yes.
no, I'm amazed how it's evolving and growing. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.